Teng Boo, in terms of perhaps shorts and your view on things that you're more short on, for the Malaysian perspective, name a couple of things that perhaps concern you over the long term.
Okay, I think that's a very valid question, because as any patriotic and loyal Malaysian would be telling you honestly, the political future of Malaysia is worrying. The way I mean, when I say political future, I'm talking about both the ruling government and the opposition side, the way politicians in Malaysia have behaved. I think the country's interests, the national interest, the broad national interest, are not really being taken care of. And that is extremely worrying, because the global economic situation is not the most constructive. And if the external environment is so turbulent, and domestically we don't have statesmen who are able to look beyond narrow interests, then from a long-term point of view, meaning the next 5, 10, 15 years, where is the country heading? We cannot see what's going to happen 5, 10, 15 years from now. But what we can do is to look back over the last 20, 30 years and see how much the country has declined. Malaysia, the Malaysian economy is hollowing out. There's no FDI. The manufacturing sector has declined in importance. And that's a hollowing out of the economy. Is manufacturing sector important? Can we rely on the services sector and so on and so forth? No, you can't. That's what is bugging the US economy. The reason why the US economy is doing so badly, and the reason why the German economy is enjoying one of its strongest growth, is Germany's state focus on manufacturing. And the US can cry all about the trade deficits with China. But why is it that Germany is having a trade surplus with China? And the wages in Germany are not low. But because they're able to produce products, BMW or Hugo Boss, that the consumers in China want, at prices that are high levels. And the US manufacturers can't do that.
Not to mention Porsche and
Yes.
and a whole bunch of Audi, for example.
Right.
Okay.
So Malaysia is ignoring the decline in its manufacturing sector. It is hollowing out in the sense that the manufacturers are moving out of Malaysia, and it is not being replaced by FDI. So is any of the politicians doing anything about it? No, nobody talks about it. And that frightens me.
The opposition doesn't stand as a credible alternative, Teng Boo?
I don't know. I have not seen their economic manifesto. I don't know whether it will reverse the decline. Those questions, I don't think any political party has addressed that seriously.
Okay, let's move it along to the Ringgit. Which is very strong. It's had a good couple of years. It's got a good run. Most economies are still quite long on it. What's your view of the Ringgit?
The Ringgit is not strong. It's the US dollar that's weak. The Ringgit has weakened against the Aussie dollar. The Ringgit has not appreciated against Sing dollar. So I think if you measure against yourself the US dollar, every currency is strong. Even the Indonesian rupiah, even the Indian rupee is strong. Even the Brazilian real is strong. But the currency will reflect over the long term. Over the shorter term, there are a lot of distractive factors. But over the longer term, the only one or two factors that will determine your exchange rate: the productivity, the efficiency, and the competitiveness of your economy. Full stop. If we are not going to be more productive, we are not going to be more efficient and competitive, 5, 10, 20 years from now, the Ringgit has to devalue, has to depreciate.
Is there an alternative? I mean, for the normal Malaysian, the average Joe, migration is obviously a dirty word, but should it be considered? And if so, where?
There are alternatives. The alternative is to press every politician, whether it's ruling or opposition side. I mean, nowadays, who is opposition, who is ruling, also gets very blurred, Nevertheless, any politician, press them, ask them to look at long-term fundamental issues that affect the country as a whole, but not within one community, one sector, and so forth. Because what we are facing is a national problem, a national economic problem.
Teng Boo, thank you for your time.